NASA's TESS mission has found its first Earth-sized world in its star's habitable zone. This means the planet, called TOI 700d, has the potential for liquid water on its surface. TESS stares at patches of sky for long stretches, recording light from thousands of stars. Some of these stars have planets that cross or transit in front of them. TESS sees these events as tiny, regular dimmings of the host stars. One star where TESS saw transits is TOI 700. It's a red dwarf about 40% the mass and size of our Sun and roughly half its temperature. One set of transits announced the presence of a planet close to the star, called TOI 700b. Another set revealed a second planet named TOI 700c a little farther out. The deeper, shorter transit means the planet is larger than the first, and the plane of its orbit is slightly tipped. A final set of transits showed TOI 700d orbiting even farther out. TESS observed this system for nearly 11 months and saw each planet transit multiple times. Scientists determined that the inner and outer planets are almost Earth-size and may be rocky. The middle world is more than twice as large and most likely made of gas. All three may be tidally locked, rotating just once each orbit, so the same side always faces the star. But most importantly, TOI 700d is within the star's habitable zone. Scientists wanted independent confirmation of TOI 700d, so they monitored its star with NASA's Spitzer Space Telescope. Spitzer saw a clear transit from the outer planet, affirming its existence and improving scientists' certainty of the planet's size. TOI 700d is one of only a few Earth-sized planets found in potential habitable zones. Others include discoveries by Kepler and several planets in the TRAPPIST-1 system. Because TOI 700 is bright and nearby, the planets are good candidates for precise mass measurements by ground-based telescopes. Future missions may also tell us if the worlds have atmospheres, but scientists need to know what kinds of signals to look for. Researchers at NASA's Goddard Space Flight Center created models of the planet to explore its potential conditions. One version is a water-covered world with an atmosphere similar to early Mars, but denser. Another looks like a completely dry version of today's Earth. Both models have vastly different surface temperatures. Light passing through their atmospheres creates distinct signals because different molecules are present. By simulating these data now, scientists can make predictions for real future observations and narrow the range of TOI 700d's possible conditions. We still have much to learn about the TOI 700 system, but thanks to TESS, Spitzer, and the work of many scientists, we're beginning to form a picture of its exciting new worlds.
Well, hello everybody. This is Scott Roberts with Explore Scientific and the Explore Alliance live presentation of the OpenGOTO Community. And I've got with me today Jerry Hubbell and Kent Marts. This feels like old times because this is how we all started way back when. So over 100 episodes ago. So because you are now at episode 101. So
it was exactly 100 episodes ago.
Right. Exactly. So, anyways, it's Friday. We still don't know who the president is, so I know everybody's kind of watching for that, but, whatever you're, hoping for, hope it comes true for you. So,
no politics.
No politics. That's right. No politics. I'm just
Don't get them started.
Hope. That's all.
Don't get them started.
That's right. Eduardo says, the good old days. So who do we got with us today? We've got Richard Grace, Stefan Delpra, Dale Beasley, Marco Polo, Arieta Durguti, Jeff Wise, Shailendra Sharma. Eduardo says good evening, good afternoon, and good day, TGIF, and would like to apologize to anyone who had miserable astro weather, for I had just received my new H-beta filter from Explore Scientific, and as usual, new toy, horrible weather. That's right. That's how it works.
Actually, we had good weather here in Virginia.
Did you? It clouded over here. It was beautiful this morning, and then probably as soon as Eduardo was receiving his package, it clouded over. Jeff Wise says it's going to rain here maybe today. We are celebrating. That's right. Michael Whitaker is with us. Marco Pola says he's going to drive 4 hours to Bortle 2 Skies tomorrow night, and he's going to bring his Explore Scientific 10-inch truss tube Dob. That should be a lot of fun.
Ask him where he's going.
Yeah, Marco, where are you going, man? You can ask him.
I guess I just did, didn't I?
Yep.
Kent's got a voice.
That's right. Kent's got a voice. Yeah. Anyway, Chuck Lewis is with us. He said he just downloaded his new ASCOM SP. Works fine. And James, the astrophotographer. Good afternoon, everybody. Hope everyone just had will have a wonderful weekend. And Marcos says he's going to Amboy Crater in California.
Oh,
Amboy Crater. I haven't heard of that.
I'm looking that up. I will put it up on the light pollution map.
I've heard of Amboy. I've heard of Amboy.
Right. We do also have Terry the Tardigrade and his friends joining us today, so I can maybe give you a peek at those guys. They're going a little crazy today.
How long have they been alive for, Scott?
Long time. I think it's now they're into several generations at this point. Now, what I have, what you're going to see is the tardigrades with a dark background. So I've been playing around with something called a dark field adapter for a microscope. And let's see if I can get this. Where?
Want me to share my screen and show the Amboy Crater?
Yeah. Could you?
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. Hang on a second. Okay, so here we go. So, can you see it, Jerry? Scott?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Share screen, share screen.
There it goes.
There it goes. So right here is Amboy. Here's Amboy, California. Here's Amboy Crater. You can actually, zoomed in too much. You can actually see it on the map right here.
Can you switch it to a satellite view?
No, we can't on this program.
Oh, okay.
I've got it right here, though. Here we go. Right there's Amboy Crater.
Oh, okay, cool.
And so there's Amboy to give you an idea of where it is.
Looks like a caldera.
Like a volcano?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Is that what it said? That's pretty big.
Ash and cinder cone. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a volcano. Cinder cone. So anyway, it's right here.
Now, where is it? I mean, what is it close to?
Nothing. It's
Nothing.
It's south of I-40, south of Ludlow, southeast of Ludlow.
I do not know that
What's
place.
the closest, biggest town?
29 Palms.
Oh, okay.
It's northeast of 29 Palms.
I see.
Oh, okay. I know where it is then.
So anyway, here it is right here. So pretty good dark skies.
That's in a good dark sky area. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Surrounded by, north is going to be, although distance, looking for 100 kilometers. So, that's going to be 100, pushing 200 miles, 200 kilometers south of Las Vegas, 175 kilometers. And, another 200 kilometers north of Mexicali. So decent skies off to the southeast. That'd be pretty nice.
Yucca Valley, 29 kilometers. I know where that is. Needles. Yeah, it's dark out there. It is dark out there. Look at the place called Chubbuck. That looks dark. Must be an old desert town or something. Official Milligan.
Where did you zoom in and Chubbuck disappears?
Maybe it's just a mountaintop.
That might be that might just be the area, the region called Chubbuck.
Last 2. SQM meter of almost 22. Pretty dark.
Pretty dark.
We're gonna get our video banned because we're showing copyrighted material.
That's right.
Uh-oh.
So anyway, all right, there's that. So that's where we know he's going. We want to see some pictures. Most assuredly.
Yeah. Mojave Desert, that's where he's going.
Yeah.
Let's see. We'll show you the tardigrades in dark field. Now it makes the background look dark, which is kind of cool. But you can see them. Now, the depth of field is like really shallow.
Is that because of the backlighting?
I think it's just because, I don't know why. Well, you wouldn't think in a microscope you'd have much depth of field anyways.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about microns.
If I change out here, I'll show you what happens. I'm going to go ahead and change this out now. It's going to
Seems
blow
like the depth
out.
of field improves when you go with normal light.
Yeah, what's this? I'm changing out the device here. I'm going to just a regular, condenser type of thing. And here we go. And I have to change the exposure. Let's go to auto exposure. And let's not stay at auto exposure. Change the exposure time. There's 270 milliseconds. Now I can change the diaphragm. In fact, I think this improves the depth of field when I do that. But check that out.
Yeah, you can see quite a bit
See
more
a
in
ton of
focus.
them, right?
Yeah, that's a lot in focus.
The thing that's kind of cool is that you can just roll your mouse and zoom in on them,
You can see them better.
You sure can.
You can see the little mouth parts.
Look at that one right there. You can see all of his legs, his little eyes.
I wonder if they taste like shrimp.
Probably tastes like chicken.
You'd have to get a million of them to taste them.
I bet a million wouldn't taste like much.
Didn't you say they were a 1 millimeter length or something like that?
1 millimeter.
Yeah. That's fairly large. You can see them with your eyeball.
Look at that guy. They're strong. I mean, look at them. Mm-hmm. Well, I'll stop sharing here.
So Scott, those have been just living in your office in what? Just in a little petri dish?
They've been living in this right here.
So did you suck them up?
Who knows how many are in here? I mean,
Did you suck them up off the bottom, or is that just water sucked up out of just the middle of it?
Off the bottom.
How often do you feed them lettuce?
Never. I think there's enough moss in there to keep them going for 20 years. I don't know. Have no idea.
I'll find out when they stop moving.
Chuck Lewis wants to know, are these our old friends or our new residents? They are maybe relatives of our old friends. I don't know how often they reproduce, but I have seen them come out, have their, when they get dried out, they have like a glass-like exoskeleton, and then when they're rehydrated, they burst through that and come back out, and they'll leave their old shell out there. So
I'm looking it up. They molt up to 12 times, depending on the species.
I bet you they've been molting. There's not a lot else to do in there except for eat moss. So
Eat molt.
eat and molt, eat and molt. Yeah. Well, Kent, how about we tell the audience who won our 5.5 millimeter eyepiece from our 100th anniversary show?
Give me a drum roll, please, while I look it up. Although I know the name, I'm not going to mess it up. So they live 2.5 years. The
2.5
winner
years?
is,
Really?
yeah, if they have enough food.
I'll have to keep-
Quite a
Drum
bit.
roll, please. The winner of the 100th episode. What was the eyepiece, Scott?
100 degree 5.5.
100 degree 5.5. It'll bring tears to your eyes. Is Zach Kruger
Zach Kruger,
of
Yeah.
Arizona.
Arizona. All right.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations, Zach. Don't know if you're watching the show, but
You put it to good use out there.
yeah.
I'm shooting him an email right now
Okay, that's great.
to let him know.
We did have a few people that got the right answer.
Does that mean we had a few people who didn't get the right answer?
Yeah, there was both categories in our submissions.
Yeah. Zach Kruger. Very cool. Very cool.
What was the question? The correct answers there, Jerry.
Yeah,
Uh,
Jerry.
Let me
Oh yeah, he made it hard. He did.
It was,
pull it
yeah,
up.
it looked hard.
So basically it was, let me bring it up. I gotta read it. It'll take me a minute.
Stefan wants to know what LRGB NB narrowband filters do you recommend to upgrade to from ZWO 31 millimeter? Would love to get 2-inch, but too expensive.
So, all right. I gotta. Dang nabbit.
Dang
Just
nabbit.
close it again.
There's Jerry
Trying to
cursing
make it so I
again
can
on
see.
live.
So,
That was Yosemite, Jerry.
Yeah.
Yosemite.
Wade said
No.
chroma. I don't think the chroma filters are less expensive.
So the question was, there are 5 things that
But
what did I
good
say
quality.
exactly? There were five things that affected the precision of the measurement of your precision photometry measurement of a star. For if you're doing a variable star measurement, or even if you're doing an asteroid light curve or something like that, there are five sources of noise, basically, that affect the precision of the measurement. And name 3 out of the 5. All right, so the 5 items are: there's readout noise, which is related to the amplifier electronics when you read the data out of the CCD or the CMOS image.
Okay.
There's thermal noise, which is call it the dark current, and so the readout noise is corrected by the bias frame when you do calibrations. The dark current is corrected by doing a dark frame.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing you have is shot noise of the measurement, which is a statistical noise based on when you do any kind of measurement of a radiation source. You've got shot noise, which is also called Poisson noise.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got two types of scintillation. Actually, you have one scintillation, which is a short-term noise due to the atmosphere moving around and broiling. That's the cause of the seeing. That's what causes your seeing to be good or bad, is the atmosphere moving around. That's called scintillation. And then there's a noise source called transparency, which is a long-term, long period changing in
Hmm.
the data. It's caused by clouds and haze and things that pass in front of the image, in front of the object during the exposure, or during your session. The transparency changes over your session affect your light curve measurements also. So
I,
those are the 5 terms. So all you had to do is name 3 of those.
Or some other answers. It looked like some people answered sort of right, but not right.
Well,
Right.
some people stated the same noise 2 different ways and thought that was 2 separate types of noise. Um, some people said stuff that was not uh, really one of the noise sources, that type of thing. Um, like they said flicker noise, atmospheric scintillation, Poisson noise. Those are all 3. Well, Poisson noise is different than atmospheric scintillation and flicker noise. I assume they mean flicker noise and atmospheric scintillation is the same. Sky noise was another term they used. Noise from the star. I'm not sure what that meant. That could be sunspots. I guess you could have sunspots if you're doing exoplanet measurements. You don't know if it's an exoplanet or if it's sunspots or star spots, I guess you could
right.
say.
We're out shooting sunspots this morning. Tyler took a couple of
Oh yeah.
pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, looked really cool.
I haven't seen the pictures.
Yeah, he was supposed to be here today, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure. He disappeared. You are muted, Kent.
I was seeing if Tyler was over there. I don't think he's there.
Oh, okay. No, he must had to take care of something. So
I could go see. I could send it to myself. Let me go see if I can find it. I'll be back.
okay, all right. Well, let's jump over to you, Jerry. We were talking about a new program that for exoplanets that you were working on, that you had started working on with
The ALPO.
yeah, the ALPO.
So yeah, so the story is about a year and a half ago. I, I'd been working on exoplanets for a little while, and I was talking to Dr. Mike Reynolds, who passed away unfortunately about a year ago. He's on the board of directors for the ALPO, and I suggested that maybe we might form an exoplanet section, since we do have planets in our name, and exoplanets are planets. I figured, why wouldn't we be doing exoplanet work as part of the ALPO?
Sure.
And he liked the idea, and we were going to bring it up to the board and talk some more about it and see if that's a possibility and there's interest in our membership to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, he passed away. We didn't get very far with the program and then this year I started talking about it to Tim Robertson, who's on the board now. He does the podcast for the ALPO.
Okay.
And so I talked to him about it on the podcast, the last podcast I was on with him, and I presented I did a talk about the MSRO and what the work we're doing with exoplanets at the ALPO conference last month, about a month ago, and proposed it at that point to the membership. And I've actually written an article about it. It's going to be in the next JALPO, the quarterly magazine that the ALPO puts out.
Mm-hmm.
But the board of directors voted on it the other day, last week, I guess, and decided to form an exoplanet section for the ALPO. And they asked me to be the first coordinator for
Oh,
that section.
congratulations.
So that's pretty cool.
And
Very cool.
sympathies. And sympathies.
Yeah.
I know.
I know Uncle Mike is looking down with a big smile on his face, so that's good.
That's cool.
Good.
But yeah, so I think it's pretty. So the goal is not to take the place of other groups that are doing this work, right? We've got plenty of other. You can join a pro-am organization like the test follow-up program to
Sure.
do your observations and submit. But the goal with the ALPO is to get our membership involved with that type of observation to provide materials and training for them, to coordinate the observations to submit to groups like the test follow-up team and other. The AVSO also accepts data for exoplanet data.
Hey, Jerry, 15 years ago, you'd have been thought of as a nut for talking about having an exoplanet section of Alpo, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I know,
I mean, you thought
probably.
they'd run you
Yeah.
out of town on a
Well,
rail.
the first question they would ask is, "What the hell are you going to observe? You can't see them. How are you going to
Right.
look at them?" But today there's a lot of activity in this area, and I've talked about it several times on the show, I think.
Mhm.
What do you see the future becoming on that? Make a 10-year prediction.
Well, the technologies for amateurs is just going to get better. I think the camera systems we talked about how the camera systems are going to change, I think, over the next 10 years. I think now
Yep.
is the golden age of consumer cameras being able to be used for astronomy use, but in the future, consumer cameras aren't going to be away, I don't believe. So right now is the time to camera systems. They may carry them on for a while, but I think they're going to get somewhat more expensive. But again, the cameras that are going to be available are going to be very sensitive and very easy to use going forward to do this kind of work. It's really more of a, anybody that does astrophotography, pretty picture or astrophotography can do this type of work. It's just you have to understand how to take the data a certain way. Just like you understand when you're doing pretty pictures how to take the data a certain way, you have to do the same thing with this. And then you process it. There's techniques to process it to bring out that information to be able to see the light curve, the light change as it passes in front of the star. There's it's just another set of techniques that you learn, just like the techniques that Gary Palmer teaches to bring out the best in a deep sky image. There's a way to bring out the best in the light curve data.
Yep.
That involves instrumentation and skills and knowledge and technique. It's not, I mean, it's not magic. And people, you can be taught how to do it. It's not some secret thing, that
Right.
only gifted people can do.
Right.
It's not a talent per se,
Persistence and
Well, you have to have
being
persistence
methodical,
and,
right?
that's with anything astronomy related. You have to have patience and persistence, and you'll learn that pretty fast with dealing with the weather.
Right.
So I went to get the picture, and turns out that he's been processing it for like the last 5 hours.
5 hours.
Who
Yeah,
is this?
the picture he took, he ran a
Tyler. That's
Tyler. Yeah, he took a rather extensive video, and he's got he excluded however many frames that weren't good. He ended up with 10,000 frames that he's stacking. So you need to buy him a faster computer if he's going to do this at work, Scott, because the one at his desk is.
He could do this at work.
I've been hearing this grinding noise coming from over there. Now I know what it is. It's his computer grinding away.
I see. That's why you couldn't be on the show today.
So
his computer's bogged down.
So Monday, hopefully, we'll have that picture to show.
Yeah.
I'm curious of why he's trying to stack so many frames.
That's right.
Because, Jerry, you can.
Yeah, but has he ever heard of the term diminishing returns?
He may be learning that right now.
Right. Now, something else I wanted to announce too. One of the things that we have been doing with our team is, we've been establishing what we call the mentor program here, and we started that internally, working with customer service, getting them more up to speed, not only with our gear, but with astronomy technique and astronomy terms and all the rest of it, trying to get them up to the point of where they can, handle a lot of the advanced questions. And, Jerry's been doing a great job with that. We are starting to roll out that mentor program through other people as well. And Gary Palmer is becoming one of the Explore Scientific or Explore Alliance mentors. And so sometime next week, probably the beginning of next week, we will roll out a new webpage where you can buy time with Gary through Explore Scientific, and so we'll make that available to you guys. I can imagine that there'll be other special mentor programs that you can get involved with as well. I wanted to mention too that we have Global Star Party number 20, which is the Asia edition, and that will be based or centered over the Philippines, but we have people in Malaysia, we've got people in Singapore, we've got people in Thailand, so it's going to be really, really cool. It starts at 6. I start broadcasting actually a little bit before 6 a.m. Tomorrow morning, so I'm going to be waking up real early, and David Levy will be on with us if you'd like to hear David's early morning talk. Normally David's asleep at this time, so that's really unusual for him. So,
is he just going to stay up?
Yes, that's exactly what he's going to do. Chuck Allen from the Astronomical League is also going to be on with us, and Chuck is staying up all night. Okay, so this will be co-hosted by Christopher Go. If you don't know who Christopher Go is, he is world famous for his planetary images, and so it's going to be real exciting, and I can't wait to get it rolling. Hopefully I can stay conscious for it. So that's also not a time I'm normally awake either. So
is anybody from Australia going to be on there?
I don't know. I know that if I take a quick look here, I can take a quick look at the people that will be on. People who have never been on any of our global star parties before is going to be on this. So we've got we have a gentleman named Sharon Ahmad Al Shagazer. He's out in Malaysia, so that's he's an astrophotographer out in Malaysia. We've got Remus Chua, and Remus is out of Singapore. He's an astrophotographer. Who else do we have? Of course, Christopher Go. And we've got Rodion Herrera. I believe he's out of the Philippines, possibly. He's an astronomer and educator. So that's very cool. We have the people from the National Astronomical Research Institute of Thailand, NARIT. They're going to be joining us. It's a couple of individuals that will be part of that. Let's see. And one of those is, this is a very long last name, and I'm sorry if I ruin it, but it's Dr. Pashi Achindra, and he's the he was a executive director of NARIT. Excuse me, he cannot attend. He is the current executive director, and someone has taken his place. Let's see.
Yeah, I do. So wait, which one?
Who else?
25 to 7.
Couple of more. Guy named Scott Roberts, he's going to be on.
That's quite a lineup, Scott.
I know. Tanakrit, and he is the public outreach officer for NARIT. He's going to be on. I've met him. I met him at the imaging conference in San Jose, which was kind of cool. Professor Boonruxar Sunthornthum. Okay, he is former NART executive director. He'll be on with us. And who else? James Kevin Tai. He's a Filipino astrophotographer as well. So, and
Scott,
there may be others. So,
are you planning on staying up till all day doing this?
no.
I mean,
No, I'll do the broadcast. I think it'll probably go till 10 or 11 o'clock my time in the morning, and then I'll take a nap, and then we have the NWA space event, which starts
right.
in the afternoon, right?
6:30, I believe. So
6:30. Okay.
right.
So I'm going to be showing my tardigrades. So they got, this group got an early sneak peek of what's going on, but maybe I'll have some other
So we'll be
or something to show.
NWA Space will be having a virtual star party with Rick Marshall's going to be doing planetary and some deep sky stuff. So that'll be an interesting thing. So share the link to NWA Space website, Scott, nwa.space.
Yep.
Would welcome anybody. The group, I'm on the board of directors.
Is that your club?
No, the club is Sugar Creek Astronomical
Oh.
Society.
Yeah.
NWA Space is a nonprofit organization working to build a science and education
Oh,
center.
right.
Yeah.
That's a big telescope.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
correct.
Why don't you share the website and show that 24-inch telescope?
When
'Cause
are
you
we
were
gonna?
threatening to do that.
When do you think they'll start to refurbish that thing?
We've done some groundwork on it, but we don't have a building big enough for it. So every time we moves, it costs us $3,000 to $4,000, and we can damage it. So we're not going to move it again. Let me see if I can get some pictures here. Well,
I got your info right here. And I'm
let's do that on Monday. Here, here's a picture.
Yeah.
Here's a picture. It's not a great picture. I'm looking.
We're not going to be broadcasting until Monday, Kent.
We'll just
I
keep
thought they
broadcasting
just
We'll just keep waiting for him.
for hours.
they just updated the website, so it's doesn't have all the data on it. So here's a picture of it. So
Oh,
Good picture.
that's cool.
see this finder scope right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This finder scope is a 5-inch F12 telescope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and
How big of a focuser is that? Like 6 inches or something?
it's about a 5-inch focuser, 6-inch
5
focuser.
Yeah.
It may be no, it's bigger than that. It's like a 10-inch focuser.
Oh, right.
It's a beast. This tube is 24 inches in diameter. So this pipe is 24 inches in diameter, 2 feet. And this tube is 36 feet long from this back plate to the end.
That's F-15,
Sir, F-18.
F-18.
F-18. And like I said, it's the scale, understanding what that is gives you some scale. We're going to strip all this stuff off. We've got some historic pictures that show the configuration original. And now this is going to be run by the PMC8 system. We're going to make this 112-year-old telescope or whatever it is, a go-to telescope, run it with a PMC8 system.
I'm looking forward to that.
Sir?
But I'm looking forward to doing that work.
Oh yeah, it's going to be grand fun, and we're going to restore it, make it look like it did in the original pictures with brass rods running up it and stuff. It's if you've never seen a big telescope, it's hard to imagine how big it is.
Yeah,
And
ginormous is the best description.
we have actually restored the finder scope, and Clint Branham and I probably put 75 hours of polishing just this brass.
Oh, man.
And there's an embedded fingerprint that we found that is still there. We didn't polish it out on purpose. but it took us 40 or 50 hours to strip the paint off. And this tube is crimped. I didn't bother to count, but they crimped it into a circle. And so it's not just a piece of aluminum that's just been rolled together. They actually crimped it, 150 or 200 times to create the circle. And, you actually feel it when you rub your hand over it. We painted it with automotive paint, which turned out was very slick. And so we can't keep it from sliding down on any of the rings we put on it. So there's a hole that we're going to put a stud in to keep it from sliding down on the rings. But we had first light here a couple of years ago out in the parking lot, and Clint and I got it almost in perfect collimation, the lenses back together. When we cleaned it,
Yeah.
was like we soaked it. The lens on the finder scope you couldn't see through. The lens on the lens on the telescope, we could probably use them right now without cleaning them. They're in astoundingly good shape for being up there with nothing covering them. But this lens down here was just gunk covered. And we just soaked it in distilled water for like a week, and then, scared to death to handle them. And, as we got more and more comfortable, we ended up using, I can't remember what it was, but it's a polymer that you pour on it and then put a cheesecloth on top of it and let it soak in, and then you peel it off. And we did that multiple times on the elements, and treated those, like nitroglycerin for a while until we finally got comfortable handling them. And they just worked and worked and worked on that brass. And
Do you know how long, when the last time it was used and serviced?
Yeah, the astronomer, it was pointed up at about a 45-degree angle.
Here, let me show. I got an image.
You've got it.
Show.
It was pointed up at, well, this is the image. This is how it was positioned right here. You can't tell much from this, but this is how it was positioned. Excuse me. And that's
a 1914 image of it.
Right. So
Sproul Telescope, one of the largest astronomical instruments on the Earth in the East.
It's somewhere one of the 20 largest optical telescopes in the world, is by our count. But I think what happened was he was setting the telescope to start viewing something the next night, because he just left it parked without the lens dust cover on it.
Yeah.
He didn't park it. He just positioned it. I think he positioned it where he wanted it. Went home, fell over with a heart attack. And that was in 2011, I think it was. And so it literally set exactly like that until 2017 when they decided to get rid of it. 2017. Anyway, so they thought it would probably be seized up, and the bearings moved. They unlocked it, and you can move it with one finger. It was just sitting there, just waiting.
Incredible engineering feat, this telescope. Yeah. It was really
the original drives on this were grandfather clock drives, weighted drives. So they would literally just start the weight dropping, and the weight would drive the telescope.
Yeah, Mount Wilson was like that too.
That mount looks very similar to the 24-inch that's at the Leander McCormick Observatory at University of Virginia, which is a twin to the U.S. Naval Observatory telescope in Washington, D.C. But those were Clark refractors.
This telescope,
the mount looks the same. The mount looks very much the same as these other refractors that I've been to.
This telescope was originally going to be in Allegheny, Pennsylvania, and something happened. They moved it to outside of Philadelphia, Swarthmore, and so they had to shim the mount, and we're going to have to shim the mount even more to get it, polar aligned correctly.
Right latitude.
Correct, for the latitude. Interesting, there's a central piece about 3 feet long, and the tubes. So there's a central piece like this, and then one end of the telescope goes on here, and then the other piece goes
Yeah.
on here.
Right.
And so they had it pointed straight down, and they were trying to get lift the one section off the top, and they couldn't get it to come off. They thought it must have rusted together. And this went on. We lost almost a day of disassembly time. They tried jackhammering apart. They tried beating on it. I mean, it wouldn't come apart. And I was up on a scaffold, and I said, "What's that little port right there?" And there was a guy actually up in the tube, and he swore there was no bolt still connected. And I said, "Look, there's a port there for something. Open it up." And so they got the lift over there, and they opened it up, and here's a bolt that was hidden. And Brashear designed it that way so you could not take the tube off inadvertently. We had removed every bolt except for one little bolt, and it kept
a safety bolt.
Bingo, it was a safety bolt. And we took that off, and whoop, out it went. We lost like 7 hours, messing with that. It was pretty frustrating. But that taught us something about the mindset of how he designed this telescope. If there's a port, there's a purpose for it. Now, what that purpose is, we don't know, because there are no engineering drawings. There are no technical drawings. There's no pictures of this thing.
Really? You don't have anything, huh?
Nothing.
Golly.
Yep. So it originally had big 500-pound DC motors that they took out after they replaced the clock drives. They put in, they're about 300-pound AC motors, oil-filled AC motors. Those are going to come out, and we're just going to put in, servo.
We're gonna have industrial. They're gonna be actually stepper motors.
Right, industrial stepper motors.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that guy saw his first view through a telescope when he was 9 years old, John Brashear. His dad takes him to go look through a telescope. And he had a traveling telescope that he would go around with. So you can imagine this guy doing outreach. He's probably making a living showing people views through a telescope. He saw the moon and Saturn, and that's what influenced him for the rest of his life. He's self-taught, okay? The dude was self-taught, learned how to work steel as a millwright, and pursued his love of astronomy at night with the help of his wife, Phoebe. And so he didn't have enough money to buy a telescope, so he had to make his telescope. He's like Norman Fulham, same deal. Norman was, he's making bigger telescopes than John Brashear did. I wonder if Brashear could play guitar.
So,
I don't know.
So I'm going to share my screen again. Here's some pictures that are cycling through. These are pictures of us doing stuff down in the square and doing some astronomy, but they'll cycle back here in a second.
Mm-hmm.
We do crazy stuff to inspire kids.
Who is that?
That was Dustin.
Dustin.
So here's half of the tube.
That's
Oh,
when I
yeah.
arrived. Yeah.
Golly, look at the paint flaking off
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Okay, so those are the pictures we had. This is the Explorer office when we were doing eclipse classes.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Roughly 3 million. So anyway, a few more pictures.
So I'm curious about something, Jerry. Come the day that we can get that telescope up and going, what's the likelihood that we could put the PMC-8 and drive that?
Oh, that's easy.
Easy.
So,
We just need big enough stepper motors, right?
well, you need to buy the proper motors, and what we'll be buying is another industrial strength controller or stepper signal amplifier. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll get pulses and direction signals out of the PMC-8 that'll feed that industrial box that drives the motors.
Okay.
So that's all it is, just a signal coming out of the PMC-8. It's the same
Be the
PMC-8
same deal.
electronics, same same ASCOM driver.
Yep.
The only thing is we're creating a bigger signal to drive a bigger motor. That's all we have to do.
That'll be really exciting. That'll be very exciting. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, I think that's our show for today. We're excited to do Global Star Party 20 tomorrow. Hope you join us. We will be back of course, on Monday with the Daily Show, and as always, we have much more to discuss and go over with you. There's always something new going on. And until that time, as Jack Horkheimer always said, keep looking up. Anything else you guys need to discuss before? Let me ask the tardigrades if you guys.
Any comments?
They're all dried out already. Darn it! I'll have to add them some water.
They're getting ready for their space trip out, across the solar system.
They're in their catatonic glass shells right now.
Yeah, that's right. They're going into hibernation to go to Mars.
Right. So I have to moisten that little dried out spot that they were in, poor guys. But, that's what tardigrades do. So they are the, I don't want to say the badass, but they are pretty badass. So anyways, thanks guys. Thanks for watching, and we will see you very soon. Take care. Okay, sounds good.
Couldn't handle it.
Right.
Too much.
All right.
Are we live still?
We're still live. You can hear we're all closing down, guys.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Bye-bye again.